Well, we begin tonight with a Bakersfield family who's keeping a decades-old Christmas tradition of building a nativity scene of epic proportions, all to welcome the main guest on Christmas Eve, of course, the baby Jesus. They welcomed me into their home and they explained the tradition, which was exported straight from Mexico.
We have Adam and Eve, we have the three wise men, and of course our main setting, which is where baby Jesus is going to be born.
He's the reason for the season, but also why Gabby Rubalcaba continues to grow the massive nativity scene that lives in her living room.
We could expand it more, like I would leave more space in between each part of them. So maybe someday once I have a big house, I could, make it much bigger.
The family's matriarch exported the tradition from Michoacán, Mexico almost 4 decades ago.
She learned this from her grandparents. So all her childhood, she experienced this. And once she came to the United States, she brought some of these figures here.
Since the first nativity scene on American soil, the family has collected more than 400 figures. A ballpark guess, as Rubalcaba's not quite sure how many figures tell the story of the first Christmas.
I just remember it was small, much smaller. I always admired it, and it's been so long ago. I mean, I was probably 1 or 2 when I first saw it. So for me, it's just something that it's part of Christmas.
The youngest of the 3 sisters was tasked with carrying the tradition 10 years ago, but it's the next 10 years she looks forward to the most.
Well, this is a privilege that my mom gave it to me. It's 3 of us, 3 sisters, but I think my mom would always notice that I was the one, helping the most or enjoyed putting it up. And I hope that my kids eventually, continue this tradition and for them to continue, making this even bigger at some point in their lives.
Well, Rubalcaba mentioned that her mother Esperanza is currently spending the holidays in Mexico, and per usual, they are anxiously waiting, or eagerly that is, expecting a new figurine to add to the nativity scene next year.